Hey everyone, my name's Amelia and I'm from the YouTube channel xAmeliax, and I'm here with Ali today, who's going to be showing us how to do this perfect winged eyeliner look with a little bit of non-touring, which is the new contour.
It's the new contouring.
It's a bit more subtle.
A bit more subtle, but still gives you a bit of the cheekbone, a little tiny bit of highlighter, so yeah.
That's awesome. So keep watching if you want to find out how we got this look.
So skin's already been moisturised, hydrated. Just going to begin by putting a little bit of a base on the eye using the QVS concealer brush, which is great for cream products, and just blending across the lid area. Just to get a really flawless finish with your skin, using the flat top, the QVS flat top blusher brush, which is legendary for getting the base on really quickly and really flawlessly because it's so dense, the bristles.
Yeah, I find them really good for blending in the foundation on my cheeks, especially because I've got quite big pores. So it really works it into the skin.
And maybe even go back in around the eye area, just pressing it in there. It's lovely because it's so, this is dry actually. I quite like using them wet as well, but I want the base to be a little bit heavier. Don't want it too pressed in. QVS dual end brow brush.
So it's got spoolie on one end.
Spoolie on one end, just to brush out the foundation if it's in the brows. This is a nice kind of fat-ish. Do you use an angle brush for your brows?
Yes, but mine's a lot smaller, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly that goes on.
It does go on fairly quickly.
That brush would be really handy if you were travelling actually, so then you only have to take one.
I think that's all you need. I like this because it's quite the QVS concealer brush. It's quite dense and also quite pointed, like the tip is quite fine, so if there are any blemishes you can really just cover a blemish and then just tap up the edges with the fingertip, but you can direct it exactly where you need it. We're going to do next a little bit of a kind of what we're calling a non-tour, because there's been a bit of a backlash against the full-on contouring, which really in everyday life isn't quite so wearable if you're not in the cameras
or unless you're Kim Kardashian.
Unless you're Kim and you're being photographed for a magazine. So I think the subtle contour or the non-tour is probably the new thing, which is much more wearable for like every day. So I'm just going to use the QVS natural blusher, which is lovely because this one is tapered.
Oh, okay.
So that helps to define through the cheekbones. So just with a medium bronzer, tapping off the excess. I always like to fill up the brush and then maybe tap a little bit out. And then just picking where the cheekbones are, directly onto and just underneath, so you're kind of sculpting, and always take it right into the ear. Then like to go over with a bit of a shimmery, just while the base is still a bit damp, so we've not powdered anything yet, but like a shimmery bronzer as well, just to kind of brush over, just to soften. And this QVS blusher brush this is a bit more round, so it's not so tapered. So better for kind of just going over the apples and just softening into the bone.
It's not too big though either, is it?
It's a really good size. Yeah. I personally like a more defined blusher or bronzer brush. I know some people, back in the day, I used to just take a big brush and just, but now I think it's about picking out the cheekbones where the sun would kind of naturally hit the face. All these brushes are hand finished, so it's really nicely tapered. Feels lovely as well. Feels really nice and soft. Can use it for cream eyeshadow, can use it for powder eyeshadow, but for really quickly blending concealer, looking up a tiny bit, right up to the lash line, makes it really fast. With all of these brushes, I've kind of got a few of each, but like the angle brush, kind of got multiple uses for. So powdering to set. And for a long time, I don't know about you, but I've been powdering with a smaller brush to kind of just sit it where I want it.
Instead of, I'm guilty of using a big one
all
over.
Because I'm always kind of trying to keep the face quite dewy. But yeah, I don't want to flatten it with the powder, but at the same time I need to stop the shine, so
that brush is perfect then, really?
It's a goodie, yeah. These dual fibre, great for foundation, great for bronzer. I'm just going to use it to add a little bit of highlighter into the cheekbone area. Kind of around that eye shape. Yeah. and it just kind of picks up in the light. So lash curlers.
Okay.
Do you use a lash curler?
I do sometimes.
Sometimes. I personally love a lash curler. I feel like they changed my life. But there are 3 QVS lash curlers, all completely different, all really fabulous. The gold Curl Wonder is probably the most best-selling one, but most popular one I know of, and it is gold plated, so it has quite an appeal.
Is that just because it's pretty? Is that why people buy it?
I think more to do with the shape. It's slightly flatter, so if your eye is a bit more almond shape, that's probably more the lash curler for you. I'm very much used to the classic lash curler, but since I tried the ergonomic Ergo lash curler, I find it so comfortable, it's so easy to use, so we'll go with that today for you. So just looking down with your eyes for me.
It feels really comfortable.
It is super comfy, isn't it? Does that feel okay?
It's a little bit scary when someone comes at you with a metal device in your eye, but it's really comfortable.
Apart from that, all good. This is a bit like the 1950s eye, so there's a very subtle kind of crease in there. The QVS eyeshadow brush is perfect for just placing the shadow exactly where you want it, and then buffing it out with the blender. I love the blender.
I'm really impressed with that little one, because I tend to put all of mine on with the blender and then obviously it gets a bit messy. So that would be great, because I find that flat ones are a little bit difficult to get the crease.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to do black cream liner, gel liner.
Okay.
I personally find using an angle brush, the QVS angle brush is lovely because it's really fine, it's really precise, because you can rest it along the lash line. And then if you start to get a little bit fatter, if you've started fine, I think you're in a better place.
Yeah, you can always add more.
You can always add
away.
Yes. So we're going to go for a red. You're happy wearing a
let's
red,
go
aren't
for
you?
it. I do love a red lip.
Great. And I think for a colour, I do love a lip liner. One for filling the lips out a bit more. Also, such a pretty look for summer, and you've got a lovely post-holiday tan going on here, so I think it works even better with a bit of a tan. I'm using the QVS lip brush, which is nicely rounded but is quite fine for defining. Okay, so ready to show you your finished look?
Let's have a look. I'm really excited to see.
Hopefully I've got the non-super magnifying side and that's the normal side.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so pretty. That winged eyeliner is perfect. And I really like the different colour of the red as well. It's a bit different to a normal cherry box red, isn't it?
Really suits you.
And now I know how to non-tour. It's
Nontouring,
really lovely.
the new contouring.
It's so subtle as well. I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much.
Great, my pleasure, thank you.